So we're going to annotate the reading titled The Music Industry. Again, I recommend that you read this first on your own and then watch this video. And let's get started. 1. Early forms of musical technology. So one thing, when you're reading, you want to make sure you pay attention to the subheadings. We call these subheadings. That will tell you what kind of information you'll find in this paragraph. Technology in the music industry has changed a lot in the past 100 years. In the early 1900s, it became possible to store music so that people could listen to it over and over again. Okay, so let's say music industry. So this paragraph is going to talk about the changes. So I'm going to make a note. So similar to how you learn to make a timeline. So in the 1900s, people began to store music. However, most people wanted to buy music that they listened to on the radio. They wanted to be able to listen to it whenever they wanted. In the 1920s, new technology made this possible. People could buy music on records. So in 1920, people could buy records. Your parents or grandparents probably bought their music on these records. In the 1970s, the music business began to produce music on special tapes. Okay, so 1970, produce music on tape. These tapes were much smaller than records. They were less fragile. In other words, they did not break or scratch as often as records. The popularity of tapes increased in 1979 when Sony began to sell the Walkman, a portable tape player. So 1970, Walkman is introduced. During the 1990s, CDs, compact discs, became more popular. CDs are stronger than tapes and the sound of the music is much clearer. So 1990s, CDs. So I'm going to just go through my markers aren't really that good. 1990s, store music. So I'm just going to put a square on the date and underline the keyword. So 1900, store music. 1920, buy music on records. 1970, produce music on special tape. 1979, Walkman. 1990s, CDs. So then that way you can find it much easier. It might be better too if you made each of these a different color. But I already wrote my notes on the side, so I have a clear timeline of how music has changed. Okay, now let's look at the bottom here. It says, music on the internet. By about the year 2000, CD sales began to fall and the sale of music in electronic form on the internet began to rise. Okay, so 2000, internet sales. With the internet, people could listen to songs on their computers. They could also download them onto an MP3 player. This change had 2 important consequences for the music business. Okay, so whenever they tell you it had 2 important changes or 3 important changes, you have to make sure you know what those are. So it changes. First, with records, tapes, or CDs, customers had to buy an album, which is a whole collection of songs. The whole collection usually lasts about an hour. With the internet, customers can buy only songs they like. They don't have to buy songs they don't like. They can create their own collections of songs. So customers buy songs, not albums. There's a second and more important consequence. With electronic forms of music, it is easy to make copies and share them. When listeners download electronic copies, they can share them with their friends. The friends do not have to pay for the copies. It is very hard to prevent people from sharing their music. This is a challenge for musicians and music companies because listeners do not pay for these copies. So, easier to share music. Those are the biggest changes. So I'm going to make a note of that here on the margin. Music companies have tried many ways to stop people from sharing their music. They have made changes in the electronic form of music. The changes make it harder for listeners to make copies or share their music. Music companies want the government to punish people who share music. However, none of these efforts have been very effective. People can always find the music they want easily, and they often do not have to pay for it. So, many ways. Okay, so the first way they've tried to make it harder for people is they made changes in the electronic form of music. And then the second way is ask the government to stop people from sharing the music. The internet has also had some positive effects for musicians. In general, it is very difficult to be a very successful musician. It is hard for most musicians to sell their songs. However, the internet makes it easier for musicians to bring their music to a larger number of people quickly and easily. They do not have to pay a musical company to record and distribute their music. They can sell their music directly to consumers. They can put it on a website where people can listen to it and download it if they want to buy it. Okay, so positive effects. Because before we just learned about negative effects, right? They're saying that music companies are losing money because people are not paying for the songs. But the positive effect is musicians sell music directly to consumers. They can share music easily. Okay, now next page. The music, and so this is recent changes in the music business. The music business is changing again. Many customers have stopped downloading music because now they can find it in a new way. In the past, customers wanted to own their music. They wanted all of their songs in their computer or music player. Now, customers can play music directly from many different internet music sites. They can find the music they want and play it on their computers, cell phones, or MP3 players. They can play it anywhere they want and at any time they want. They don't need to own it. So, big change. Customers don't own music. They listen to music on the internet. So, for example, when I listen to music, I usually just go on YouTube and type the name of the song, and it's always there. I don't have to buy the CD like I did in the past. Music companies and musicians still want to make a profit, however. They are trying two new methods. Okay, two new methods. First, they ask other companies to pay for advertisements on music sites. These companies hope that people will see their advertisements while they are listening to music and then buy the products in the advertisements. Second, some music sites require customers to pay for access. For example, a customer might pay $10 a month for access to a large collection of songs. Some of these music sites are connected to other sites like Facebook. This allows people to find out what their friends are listening to. They may want to listen to the same music. Okay, so make profit. Number one, put ads in. Like if you've ever gone to YouTube, for example, you'll probably see a lot of videos have ads, and that's how the musicians make money. And then also pay for access to music sites. So if you listen to if you have like an app to listen to music like Pandora, they might you can pay for a subscription, and that's how a lot of musicians get money too. Music companies, musicians, and customers are still trying to find the best solutions for everyone. Music companies and Musicians need money for their products. Customers want to listen to music anywhere and anytime. One thing is certain, the music business will continue to change with new technology.